Well, hello to all my idols out there. My name is EJ and welcome to my channel. In this week's video, we are going to be discussing the latest episode of The Idol. We will be talking about Season 1, Episode 3, Daybreak. In a lot of ways, Daybreak was going to be the make or break episode for me as a viewer. I now kind of know firmly where I sit on the show. I do enjoy it. The base story of this is genius. There is really great moments of acting. I know everyone's been making fun of the Weeknd, and I don't think he's great, but I actually really like the Tedros character. Possibly the cringiest, worst human being on television in quite some time, but it's fun to watch it unfold. And Jocelyn, Lily-Rose Depp, what a performance this week. What a performance each and every week, but this is the moment where I said, this is her show. I know all the controversy behind it. I know a lot of people have got the idea that Sam Levinson and The Weeknd has really made this their own show. But, Tedros continues to be the worst person ever. They're continuously pushing that on us. And Jocelyn, the way Lily-Rose Depp brings this character to life, this is her show. It's amazing to watch. This episode was really strong. On some other notes, on a critiquing side, I do find that the episode moved a bit fast in the sense of we pushed these people into this house way too quickly. I know we're in a limited series, so we're going to be limited on the time that we have, so we're going to fast forward some story beats, but I thought we moved the cult into the house way too quickly. I was just like, oh, we're already starting this, and I'm pretty sure Tedros needed the place to live, but it was a bit like, I would have liked to see this kind of have a moment to breathe. But besides that, my other negative is the sex finally kind of broke me in this episode, where I was just like, there's story stuff I like. Oh my goodness, please get back to the character work, like the Tedros Sanders scene, the dinner scene, the moment where Chaim and Destiny realized what they're dealing with. All of that was really good, and then I'm like, yeah, that sex scene was fine, whatever. Though the Valentino stuff, that's the only sex scene I will accept, because one, it advanced the plot, and two, all of the Valentino store minus the product placement was pretty great. Yeah, that is kind of my overall feelings. I like this episode. I'm really liking the show. I'm vibing with it. I'm kind of firmly on team The Idol at the moment, unless this takes a complete nosedive. I'm going to be pretty pro it the way, though, like I said, there were some things that could have made this a bit better. Now, enough of this review section. Let's get into the recap. Let's get into the nitty-gritty and why I thought this was one of the best acted episodes yet, and again, this is going to be a fun show. The episode begins with Tedros and Jocelyn being drove around Hollywood with Leia. Poor Leia has to deal with these two in the backseat just being gross. I mean, Jocelyn's pure Elizabeth Berkley showgirls just being hot, sexy with men just treating her like a sex object everywhere they go. I'm waiting for a full pool homage from Showgirls, because this show has such a Showgirls tinge to it. So yeah, Jocelyn's dealing with Tedros. They're having fun in the back seat. Leia is done with this. They also end up going on a shopping spree. We've seen that, Tedros has made his way into the house. He's kind of controlling every bit of the details. Leia's already kind of snitching on him to Chaim and Destiny. She's saying, look, he's controlling. We see the little food dude got fired because he is a bit handsy, but sure, Jocelyn seemed to enjoy it. But, Tedros says it, and he really treats Leia like a piece of crap this episode, so she's done with him. They go on a shopping spree. He's really racking up some money, where I'm like, whose money? Whose credit card, baby? Whose credit card are we spending? Okay, Tedros. But yeah, this, we're seeing more of his jealousy. We saw it with the food guy, but we also see it with a Valentino store employee, who I'm like, Tedros, sis, I don't think that man's trying to get your... Okay, whatever, it's gross, but yeah, we're seeing the shopping montage. The real highlight of this scene, and not in a way I liked this, but they're having sex, they're doing it, and he tries to finish inside of her, and she says no, and it's very forceful with it, and it's stands her ground, which I like. That was it's a moment of strong agency from Jocelyn's character. Yes, we see her be very sexualized, and she's having a lot of sex with Tedros, but this is mostly all what she wants to do. This is all something she's, at the moment, we believe consenting to, but this was the moment she set a boundary. Tedros has a horrible reaction, but also has a moment where he finishes on top of all the clothes and says, girl, we need to get out of here. that scene got me. I don't know why that whole Valentino moment really sat with me and made me laugh. It was cringy, it was gross, it was kind of everything you get from the Idol so far. This also leads into, they arrive back at the house, and Hyam and Destiny are there to interrogate him, basically. The games, the layers to this scene where they're like, ha, 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 like, Tedros, he thinks he has the upper leg, but does Hyam and Destiny have the upper leg? Like, the layers to it, the tension, they're trying to get more information out of him. It's a really good moment. It really sold me on this bit, and I was like, ooh, I'm seeing the layers, the interpersonal drama. There's a lot of stuff being said without being said. There's a lot of good acting moments. Again, I really think like Hank Azaria, what is it? Davina Joy Randolph, I believe her name is. She's great. Everyone is so good in the acting standpoint here. And I just think it really makes this show, as crazy as the plot can be, it makes it worthwhile. All of this can be really, really fun. And again, some things get in the way. There was another sex scene that follows, and I'm like, oh, let's get to it. But there is plot stuff that, again, that really makes this enjoyable. The middle of this episode sees the cult really try to sink their teeth into everything. There's a lot of stuff to this. Jocelyn and Chloe, who is the other young protege in the group, are having a moment where we're really seeing Chloe try to break down Jocelyn's barrier, layers to this. And I'm like, oh, this is going to serve stuff later. And it does play into the big dinner scene at the end of this episode. So again, I liked seeing the Chloe Jocelyn stuff. We also see Tedros and Xander start to connect. Xander's, who is played by Troye Sivan. I love Troye Sivan. He's great in the show. He is the creative director. They both kind of recognize Tedros and Xander like, yo, the creative direction's horrible. So this is where, as Xander, cannot believe Xander's the one who came up with this idea, says, let's put the very shocking photo that came out of Jocelyn as our album cover. Tedros instantly likes it. There's a part of me that says, I get the idea. It's shocking. It's putting the power back into the woman. We see this a lot with paparazzi photos. We see this a lot with nudes being leaked, where people will leak it themselves because it takes the power away from the people who are trying to use it against you. There's a whole conversation about this in the dinner scene. I liked this moment. This was great. We got these details. Then we also have Jocelyn kind of chilling with a lot of the cult members, and we find out you can't say no around Tedros. This leads to big sexy dude. I will not remember his name, and he's probably going to die soon enough anyways. But yeah, he kisses a girl. We start finding out more. This also starts the conversation, which is the whole end of this episode, about there's some artists that need to go through tragedy to make good music. Some of the best music has changed our lives. As a fan of music, I mean, Lady Gaga, I have the same tattoo as her. There's a lot of stuff that influenced my life that, her tragedy, her pain brought me joy, brought me comfort, and there's a weird dynamic to that. But that's a part of being an artist. It's a really good conversation, but again, we're seeing the cult really try to sink stuff into Jocelyn's mind, which will play a big factor in the end of this episode, which I think is the best scene in all of the Idol so far. While all the dance recording stuff was really good in the last episode, this dinner scene is amazing. Tedros is on top of Jocelyn. There's a lot of conversations here. No secrets being allowed, which I'm like, Tedros, you have all of the secrets in the world. Girl, shut up. But yeah, we're seeing a lot of interpersonal drama. We're seeing, Xander present the idea of the album cover, Jocelyn's reaction to being embarrassed by it, and Tedros is like, why? And this gets into a conversation of putting power into yourself. A really good moment here. Again, I really like that Jocelyn's character is standing up for herself, really has a lot to say, even though Tedros does break her down with something gross at the end of this episode, which we'll get into right now. We are finding out things about Jocelyn's mother. I just read, Jeanette McCurdy's I'm Glad My Mom's Dead is book, which spoke about abuse in the Hollywood industry, and that's what this really touched on. We found out that Jocelyn was abused by her mother, specifically with a hairbrush that she would get whacked with, and it's shocking. I did not expect that turn with what all of Jocelyn's saying. Tedros kind of brings up the point, is that why you're in a block now that your mother's dead, now that you're not having this abuse happen to you, is that why you're in a creative block? That really triggers something in Jocelyn, and I'm like, oh, but is it? Ooh, there's so much to that conversation. One, I will say, for a more nuanced female take on this, read Jeanette McCurdy's book that speaks on this very eloquently, very well. The show is not even going to touch that, but I will say I liked that this was brought up here because there was a really powerful moment being brought here, and then this leads to a sex-ish scene, but Jocelyn gets whooped by the hairbrush that her mother whooped her with. Tedros does this to her in front of the cult, and at the dinner scene, and it's just hard hitting. This is a shocking moment. This to me is the most shocking moment, but shocking in the good way. The whole dinner scene, a lot of conversations, a lot of drama in between these characters, a lot of stuff being set up for later. I cannot wait to see that. And then the shocking ending where she gets beat, accepts it, and how she feels. Oh my god, like this is going to probably spark something creative in her, but it's not worth it because of the horrible stuff he had to do to get here. Wow, the conversations being had. Again, I know this show is controversy. I get it. I don't love every moment of it, but I think the conversations being had here, if you're smart enough to view this without the male gaze to it, it's a smart show with a lot to say and a lot of great acting. Lily-Rose Depp, you're eating it up. I can't believe a Depp is this good in this era. That is shocking to me. Whoa, I did not expect to like this episode as much as I did, but it pushed the story forward and gave me everything I wanted. There's still some issues that need to be worked out here or there, but I have faith in the overall show. Maybe I'm crazy for doing it, but I have faith. What did you guys think of this episode? What did you guys think of the Idol overall? Are you guys vibing it? Are you not? Are you just watching my reviews and not watching the show? That's fine by me. So tune into my reviews, please. Thank you. On that note, please subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, share my videos, and make sure you guys leave a comment down below. Enough of this. Let's talk about the Idol right down there.